I did get a couple of offers. I also got an offer from Amazon, and never ever I dreamt that I would be rejecting an offer from Amazon and accepting an offer from Walmart. I used to give a lot of peer mocks on other platforms, and I would say that giving like 10 to 15 mocks on other platforms is kind of equivalent to giving one or two mocks with a good quality coach. And when I talk coach, I mean people who have already worked at companies like Meta, Google, Amazon. So when a person like me gives a mock interview with those people, the quality of feedback that I receive from them is at least 10x higher than what I receive from those normal peer mocks with other platforms. So I think that was the biggest motivating factor for me. I was trying to learn more about how to get better at product sense or product design. And in those, I really learned a lot about the jobs to be done framework. And this is a framework which not everybody knows and not everybody teaches you. And even if they know, they don't know how to apply it. So this is something which I learned in this program. And that was the first aha moment that this is not any other average program out there in the world. Yeah, just a disclaimer that this program is not going to eliminate the need to work hard. You still need to work hard, extremely hard, but the rewards out of the hard work will be much higher.
Well, Vivek, thank you for taking some time to speak with us today. I really appreciate it. It was great to see you. Wishing you a happy new year and all the success in your new role. For folks who haven't met you, would you just spend a minute and tell them about yourself?
Thank you, Sam. And first of all, happy new year and thank you for inviting me. So, yeah, as you know, my name is Vivek, and I used to work with Best Buy as a product manager. I think overall, I have close to 3 to 4 years of product management experience. And I was looking for a new role, ideally in the same domain. And I was also looking for a jump in terms of responsibilities or titles. And yeah, and I recently landed a job with Walmart as a staff product manager. Yeah, and I would love to talk more about how Sam and his entire team helped me with that.
Awesome. Congratulations. So what we'll do is we'll talk a bit about your journey before the program, during the program, and then the role that it played
Mhm.
with landing your Walmart role. So first off, let's rewind now back a couple months and talk to me a bit about, what your average week looked like before we ever crossed paths. And also share with me if you're willing to, any challenges or frustrations that you're experiencing at the time.
Before joining this program, I knew that I needed a new job. I wasn't sure about what should be the next best course of action. I mean, I knew that I needed to do something, but I was not very clear on my actions. I mean, I was hardly spending like 3 to 4 hours per week on my job search because there was no kind of clear structure or direction. There were a couple of instances where I would sit down, recollect my experiences, start to draft my stories, but I would say there was a clear lack of motivation or lack of structure, or you can even say a lack of guidance. And this is where IPM really came in really handy. And I got to join a program which was clearly extremely structured that this is what you got to do in week one versus week two, week three. And when you have a lot of wonderful coaches who are ready to help you look at the bigger picture of your stories or ready to provide you that kind of structure to frame your stories, I think that really gives you the much needed push to at least get started in this process. Because what I felt that getting started is 10 times more different than when you're actually giving your interviews, because uh, getting that first step is, I would say, really, really tough.
Got it. Yeah, that motivation is especially getting going initially is can be really challenging. Just
Mhm.
were you so you weren't were you looking for some time or that year was like on your mind and you just kept delaying and kind of slowly?
I would say I kept delaying for more than 6 months. Uh, and every week I would make a very small progress. For example, looking at a set of 50 different emails and drafting the summary of those emails so that I could later use it at some point of time in some behavioral story. But that connection was not really happening very fast. And that is what was actually frustrating me. And that's where I realized that, okay, maybe if there would be a formal kind of program which has a kind of structure attached to it and some wonderful coaches who can give you that high quality feedback, that would be really helpful. And that is what exactly I was looking for in a program.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for that background. And so now you find us, and I'm curious if you remember looking back, your early thoughts before you even joined. Like, how did you decide? Okay, I mean, clearly I'm already hearing you say like looking for that structure and that, but like, what was your trade-off analysis, or how did you decide, hey, this is for me, or is this for me? Like, what questions did you have at the time, even?
Talking about the trade-offs, the couple of criteria I was considering was how much value I can get out of this program versus how much money I'm investing. So of course, the cost of this program is not small by any means, but that is, I believe that as your quality goes up, price goes up. That's common sense. So the kind of trade-off that I was looking for is how much help I can get in terms of framing my experience versus how much help I can get in terms of refining my interview stories, whether it's behavioral stories, whether it's case studies. And there was one thing in particular which really helped me was I used to give a lot of peer mocks on other platforms, and I would say that giving like 10 to 15 mocks on other platforms is kind of equivalent to giving one or two mocks with a good quality coach. And when I talk coach, I mean people who have already worked at companies like Meta, Google, Amazon. So when a person like me gives a mock interview with those people, the quality of feedback that I receive from them is at least 10x higher than what I receive from those normal peer mocks with other platforms. So I think that was the biggest motivating factor for me. And that's what convinced me that, okay, the price is high, but maybe it is really worth it in terms of the feedback.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, what I'm hearing you say is it was an investment in yourself, and is, yeah,
Mhm.
of course, it's uh, a big investment, but it was one that, with the level of coaches and experience,
Mhm.
that you decided ultimately about moving
Mhm.
forward. So let's now, okay, so you're in the program, and I'm wondering, you already mentioned a bit about the structure. I'm curious if there are any other early aha moments that we're as we started working together, early insights that you can share.
A couple of points here. So first one was I used to attend those product sessions. I was trying to learn more about how to get better at product sense or product design. And in those, I really learned a lot about the jobs to be done framework. And this is a framework which not everybody knows and not everybody teaches you. And even if they know, they don't know how to apply it. So this is something which I learned in this program. And that was the first aha moment that this is not any other average program out there in the world. And I believe the second aha moment was when I was trying to book my mock sessions. I noticed that almost 95% of the coaches are from your FAANG or MANG type of companies. And even when I was doing my tell me about yourself sessions, the amount of precision or amount of quality feedback that I got in a question which is as simple as tell me something about yourself was really amazing. So I think these were some of the aha moments that really confirmed my hypothesis that this program is really worth that cost.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's very helpful to hear. The quality of the coaches across the top brands, and really
Mhm.
their willingness to give you actionable and specific feedback is definitely something that we're very proud of. And so it's great to
Mhm.
hear that. So now you've been in the program for some time and you're in the job search. Let's fast forward a bit to the story of landing your current gig, your new role. Talk to me about that process, and how your training through IPM helped you throughout it.
My journey was not very simple because I had my own fair share of rejections as well. Um, but yeah, I would say that I took a lot of time to watch each of these recordings of all of my mock interviews and sit down and incorporate those feedbacks into my original whatever answer or solution. And I think this is something which is a very painful process because it's really frustrating to see your own recordings, and not everybody wants to do it. But I would say that this program is really good, but in order to get a good outcome, you need to really put in that quality of work. So yeah, just a disclaimer that this program is not going to eliminate the need to work hard. You still need to work hard, extremely hard, but the rewards out of the hard work will be much higher. So in my case, I would say that The interviews at Walmart were fairly challenging. It was a mix of behavioral and case studies as well. And I would say that for the case studies, I had really done a lot of written practice. So I would so whenever I would get a like a product design question, I would sit down for 2 to 3 hours and brainstorm as much as possible. And I believe that that was for me that was much more helpful than just relying on mock interviews, because that he really helps you with the skills of speed thinking and speed writing. Uh, and that is for me that is really crucial in an interview, because you need to come up with great product ideas, but you also need to come up with those great ideas within those 15 to 20 minutes.
Both of those, I mean, the not only kind of the work that you did around really putting in the reps around product design and really, I mean, I think everyone thinks like, oh, I can just hop into this and we'll just have a chat. But the
Mhm,
difference between having a chat and coming across as someone who is a smart thinker with great ideas and can like do it all very quickly on the spot, I think
mhm,
you put in the work and the reps to do that. And I'm glad you hit on another key point, which is that we're this program doesn't do it for you. I mean, it gives you a lot of resources for sure, but the fact that you were incorporating your feedback from the interviews and watching the recordings. Yeah, I hate watching my own dreadful voice as well, and I have to do it quite a bit as and but that really differentiated you as a top performer and being willing to um, sit and listen and think about it. And something that I'm not hearing you say, but it's kind of really between the lines here is really like your mental approach and frankly I would say like your humbleness in order to do this, right? If you're not thinking that like if you come into this with an attitude that you can't improve and you have nothing to learn and nothing to gain, you'll also not be very successful because you're not going to feel like, oh my, I, you'll feel like, what does this other person have to tell me that I don't already know? So I think
mhm.
behind that was a hard work ethic and like a growth mindset, I would say, that you brought to this.
Yes, I think that's a great point. So I think I could relate it to it, because I think product sense is like a mix of creativity, domain knowledge, and your cognitive empathy. So I've seen a lot of people who have that great domain knowledge, and they think that that alone is going to help them excel in the interviews. But it really takes a lot of practice to develop that creativity and you can say that cognitive empathy, and that comes only with practice. And I think this program, to some extent, helped me with that.
Thanks for talking through your current experience as it pertains to the program. So, I guess just wrapping up, don't want to take too much more of your time. So, I
Mhm.
know you're busy. So, would you talk a little bit about, and you started to hint on this, but like, how would you describe the intentional job search program in your own words? And who is this program perfect for?
I think I would define this program as a program that is extremely structured, a program that is an eye opener because it can help you uncover new weaknesses, and a program that is rewarding if you are willing to put in that hard work. So I think this program is for most of the people who are an early stage product managers, and and I've seen in this program a lot of people who are at the director or VP level as well, because I did a few peer mocks with them as well. And I think if you have that growth mindset, if you are believing that you have new things to learn, I think even director or VP of product management can join this program. But yeah, if you don't have any product management experience, I don't know how helpful this program can be. Or if you think that domain knowledge alone can help you excel, or if you think that that brand name of Google or Meta, if you have that on resume, that alone is going to take you places, maybe this program might not be the right fit.
Thank you for that. Anything you'd like to share for people watching that we didn't get a chance to speak to?
Yeah, I think the one thing I'd like to say is there would be a lot of rejections. I had a lot of my own fair share of rejections, but yeah, in the end, I did get a couple of offers. I also got an offer from Amazon, and never ever I dreamt that I would be rejecting an offer from Amazon and accepting an offer from Walmart. I never imagined that I would be in a situation, because Amazon is definitely one of my most loved companies, and it was a very difficult decision, but Yeah, I mean, why I'm telling you this story is that for the first 3 to 4 months, I was barely getting any interview calls. But once I started getting them, once the momentum was starting to build up, there was kind of a snowball effect that I kept getting better, and that really helped me overcome that nervousness in an actually interview setting.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I completely forgot to highlight the competing multiple offers from top tier brands that were fighting over you as a result of your outstanding interviewing and performance and experience, obviously. Well, let's wrap there. That's all I've got. Really
Mhm.
appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and I will speak to you soon.
If you want to be one of our next success stories, make sure you book a call with us. I've left a QR code for you to scan. Go to our apply page, book time with us, and chat about your career and your journey to your dream product management role.